My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I stared at the little blue pills in my palm. Are you sure these are safe, Vanessa? Oh my God, Sophia, not this again. My cousin rolled her eyes, adjusting her designer handbag. Look at me, I'm living proof they work. Besides, I have over 200 satisfied clients. You're just anxious because you're finally losing weight. I was losing weight all right, 20 pounds in 2 weeks, along with my appetite, my sleep, and increasingly, my sanity. Vanessa had always been the family's success story. At 32, she transformed herself from the chubby cousin into a fitness influencer with a massive following. When she approached me about trying her specially formulated weight loss supplements, my family practically forced me to accept. Don't be ungrateful, Mom had said. Those pills cost $200 a bottle, and she's giving them to you at family rates. Family rates still meant $100 per bottle. But everyone insisted it was worth it. After all, look how well they worked for Vanessa and all her clients. Their before and after photos were stunning. The first week was amazing. My appetite vanished and I felt euphoric. Vanessa beamed when I dropped 7 pounds in just 5 days. See, the family metabolism is finally kicking in. But then the side effects started. It began with sleepless nights, my heart pounding so hard I could see my chest moving. When I mentioned it to Vanessa, she laughed. That's just your metabolism revving up. Here, take another pill. It'll even you out. By the second week, I was experiencing severe mood swings, ranging from manic productivity to crushing anxiety. My hands trembled constantly, and I could feel my heart racing even when sitting still. But the weight kept dropping, and everyone kept praising me. You look incredible, my aunt gushed at Sunday dinner. Vanessa, these pills are miracle workers. I pushed my untouched food around my plate, trying to ignore the way my vision occasionally blurred. I think something's wrong, I whispered to Mom in the kitchen. My heart feels weird. Stop being dramatic, she sighed. You're just not used to being thin. Vanessa knows what she's doing. She's certified in holistic nutrition. That certification, I later learned, came from a weekend online course. The breaking point came during a presentation at work. I was standing in front of my colleagues when the room started spinning. My heart was racing so fast it felt like it would explode. I need a minute, I gasped, gripping the podium. My boss looked concerned, but I waved her off. Just anxiety, I told myself. Just like Vanessa said. In the bathroom, I splashed water on my face and took another pill, just as Vanessa had instructed. If you feel shaky, it means your body needs it, she'd explained. The shakiness is just toxins leaving your body. Back at my desk, I tried to focus on my computer screen, but the words kept blurring. My heart was hammering so hard I could hear it in my ears. When I checked my fitness tracker, my pulse was at 165, while sitting still. Panicked, I called Vanessa. You're being paranoid, she snapped. Do you want to be fat forever? This is why you've never succeeded at dieting before. You always quit when it gets hard. But my heart. Take another pill and lie down. You're just having a panic attack because you're finally succeeding. Don't you dare waste all the money you've invested in these supplements. I hung up and reached for the pill bottle with trembling hands. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe. The world suddenly tilted sideways. I felt my body sliding from my chair, but I couldn't stop it. The last thing I heard was my assistant screaming for help as my body began to convulse. I woke up in the ER, surrounded by beeping machines and concerned faces. A stern-looking doctor was examining a printout, his expression grim. Your heart rate was over 200 when you arrived, he said. We're running toxicology screens now. Can you tell me exactly what supplements you've been taking? Before I could answer, Vanessa burst into the room, clutching her designer bag. She's just dehydrated, she announced loudly. She hasn't been drinking enough water with the supplements. The doctor turned to her. And you are. I'm her wellness coach. Those pills are completely natural and FDA approved. Ma'am, I need you to step out, a nurse interrupted, moving toward Vanessa. But I have paperwork proving they're safe. Vanessa rummaged in her bag, dropping a bottle. Blue pills scattered across the floor. The doctor picked one up, examining it closely. His eyes narrowed. Nurse, call security, and contact the FDA immediately. What? You can't do that. Vanessa's perfectly composed facade cracked. Those are proprietary supplements. As security arrived to escort my cousin out, I caught a glimpse of something I'd never seen before. Fear on Vanessa's face. The doctor turned back to me, holding up the pill. Ms. Chen, these are not FDA-approved supplements. Based on their appearance, I have a pretty good idea what they contain. And if I'm right, you're lucky to be alive. As I lay there, watching the chaos unfold, I realized this was just the beginning. The truth about Vanessa's miracle weight loss empire was about to come crashing down. And I had a feeling those 200 satisfied clients wouldn't be satisfied for long. The toxicology results came back within hours. The doctor's face was grim as he reviewed them with 2 FDA agents who had arrived at the hospital. These natural supplements contain dangerously high levels of amphetamines, sibutramine, and several banned substances, he explained. The combination could have caused heart failure, stroke, or worse. One agent took notes while the other showed me photos of various pills. Are these similar to what your cousin provided? I nodded, still connected to heart monitors that beeped steadily. She said they were specially formulated for her clients. That they were all natural. Miss Parker, the agent leaned forward. Your cousin has been on our radar for 6 months. Your case might be what we need to stop her operation. My phone buzzed continuously with messages from family members. They ranged from concerned to accusatory. Mom, why did you let them call the FDA? This could ruin Vanessa's business. Aunt Linda. Vanessa's crying. How could you do this to family? Uncle Pete. Those pills worked for everyone else. You must have taken too many. I turned off my phone as another wave of dizziness hit me. The withdrawal symptoms were starting. The doctor had warned me they would be rough. 2 days later, still in the hospital, I received an unexpected visitor. A young woman, barely in her 20s, stood nervously at my door. I'm Jamie, she said quietly. I was one of Vanessa's first clients. She hesitated before continuing. I almost died 3 months ago. Over the next hour, Jamie shared her story. She'd been hospitalized with heart complications after taking Vanessa's pills for 6 months. When she tried to warn others, Vanessa threatened her with a lawsuit, claiming Jamie had violated the client confidentiality agreement. She made me sign a paper saying my complications were due to a pre-existing condition. Jamie's hands trembled. I was scared. But when I saw the news about your case, I knew I had to come forward. The news, I hadn't even realized this had made the news. My phone started working again as more messages poured in. But these were different. I took those pills too. I thought I was going crazy. My sister has been in and out of the ER. I'm still having heart problems. The FDA agents returned the next day. We've received over 50 reports since your story broke. They informed me. We're executing a search warrant at your cousin's home office today. That's when my mother showed up, tears streaming down her face. They're arresting Vanessa. You have to tell them this is all a misunderstanding. I looked at my mother, still connected to monitors, still fighting through withdrawal symptoms. Mom, she could have killed me. She could have killed lots of people. But she was trying to help. She built this business from nothing. She built it by selling dangerous illegal drugs as natural supplements, I replied, my voice stronger than I felt. That's not helping, that's hurting. The raid on Vanessa's home office revealed the ugly truth. She'd been ordering raw pharmaceutical ingredients from overseas, pressing them into pills in her garage, and selling them as natural supplements at a massive markup. The FDA found enough banned substances to trigger federal trafficking charges. But the worst discovery wasn't the drugs. It was her client files. She knew, I whispered, reading the report. She had documented all the side effects, all the hospitalizations. She knew people were getting sick. The next few weeks passed in a blur of interviews, medical appointments, and legal meetings. More victims came forward. Over 300 in total. Many had similar stories, rapid weight loss followed by serious health complications, all while Vanessa insisted they were just detoxing. My family split into 2 camps. Some, like my parents, stood firmly behind Vanessa, insisting she was being persecuted for helping people. Others, after seeing the evidence, couldn't believe they'd promoted her products to friends and family. Aunt Linda showed up at my apartment one evening, looking haunted. I gave those pills to my daughter, she said, voice breaking. My own daughter. I trusted Vanessa. The preliminary hearing was set for next month. Vanessa's lawyer tried to contact me, offering a deal. If I declined to testify, they'd cover all my medical expenses. I sent back a single response. How much is a life worth? As I stood in front of my mirror, looking at my now gaunt reflection, I touched the heart monitor I still had to wear. The doctors weren't sure if the damage to my heart was permanent, but my resolve certainly was. My phone buzzed with another message, this time from Jamie. Support group meeting tomorrow. 20 former clients are coming. We need to hear your story. I looked at my trembling hands, still detoxing from Vanessa's miracle pills, and typed back, I'll be there. It's time everyone heard the truth. Because sometimes the most dangerous predators aren't strangers. They're the family members we trust the most. The courthouse was packed on the first day of Vanessa's trial. I sat with Jamie and dozens of other victims, all of us sharing similar stories of betrayal and ongoing health issues. Some still wore heart monitors like mine, silent reminders of what those natural supplements had done to us. Vanessa sat at the defendant's table, somehow still managing to look like an Instagram-perfect wellness guru. But her carefully curated image cracked when the prosecution presented their first piece of evidence, her private text messages. If they complained about heart problems, tell them it's anxiety, she'd written to her assistant. Push the maintenance package. They're most vulnerable when they're scared. The texts kept coming, each more damning than the last. Messages about hiding negative reactions, instructions to block clients who asked too many questions, and detailed plans to avoid FDA detection. But the most devastating evidence came from her garage laboratory. Photos showed expired pharmaceutical ingredients stored next to household cleaning supplies, unlabeled pills mixed in plastic bins, and handwritten formulas that would make any medical professional shudder. The defendant didn't just sell dangerous substances, the prosecutor stated. She experimented with people's lives, adjusting drug combinations based on customer complaints, using her own family members as unwitting test subjects. When it was my turn to testify, I walked to the stand slowly, still dealing with lingering effects of withdrawal. Vanessa wouldn't meet my eyes. Can you describe what happened after you started taking the defendant's supplements? The prosecutor asked. I told them everything. The rapid weight loss, the racing heart, the tremors. How Vanessa pushed more pills every time I complained. How she used our family relationship to ensure my silence. And did the defendant ever inform you about the actual contents of these pills? No, I said clearly. She said they were natural herbs and vitamins. She said they were safe because she took them too. Vanessa's lawyer tried to paint me as an attention seeker who'd taken the pills incorrectly. But the medical records didn't lie. Neither did the dozens of identical stories from other victims. During the break, my mother approached me in the hallway. She looked older somehow, worn down by the truth she couldn't deny anymore. Did you know? I asked quietly. Did you ever suspect? She started crying. I just wanted to believe her. She was so successful, so confident. When people got sick, she always had explanations. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Each day brought new revelations. Fake before and after photos, paid testimonials, and doctored lab reports. Vanessa's empire of lies unraveled thread by thread. The support group grew larger as more victims came forward. We met weekly, sharing recovery stories and helping each other cope with the lasting effects of Vanessa's miracle cure. Some, like Jamie, had developed chronic heart conditions. Others struggled with severe anxiety and trust issues. Finally, the verdict came, guilty on all counts. Trafficking illegal substances, practicing medicine without a license, criminal negligence, and fraud. The judge's sentence was harsh, 15 years in federal prison and millions in restitution. As they led Vanessa away, she looked back at our family one last time. I only wanted to help people, she said, but her words rang hollow in a silent courtroom. 1 year later, I stood in front of a different audience, a congressional hearing on supplement industry regulation. My testimony, along with others from Vanessa's case, helped push through new laws requiring stricter testing and monitoring of weight loss products. Jamie sat beside me, now working as a patient advocate. Together, we'd started a nonprofit organization helping victims of supplement fraud. Our story had become a cautionary tale, featured in medical journals and consumer protection guides. My heart condition had improved. The doctors said I'd need monitoring for years to come. The tremors finally stopped, but other scars remained, invisible ones that made it hard to trust, hard to take any kind of medication without fear. The family slowly healed too. My mother became one of our strongest supporters, speaking out about the dangers of blind trust and the importance of questioning too good to be true promises. Aunt Linda joined our organization, using her experience to help other parents spot warning signs. Last week, I received a letter from Vanessa in prison. She wrote about finding God, about being sorry, about wanting to make amends. At the bottom, she'd added, "I'm still family. Doesn't that count for something?" I thought about all the lives she'd damaged, all the trust she'd broken, all the health problems she'd caused in the name of helping people. Then I thought about the new laws her case had inspired, the people we were helping now, the changes we created from our collective pain. I wrote back one sentence: family doesn't poison family. Today, I spoke at another support group meeting. Looking around the room at familiar faces growing stronger, at new members finding hope, I realized something important. Sometimes the family you choose, the one built from shared pain and healing, is stronger than the family you're born into. As I touched my heart monitor, now more a badge of survival than a mark of victimhood, I knew we created something powerful from Vanessa's betrayal. We turned poison into purpose, and that was the real miracle.